Doing some Roman brush calligraphy using some cheap ink. Actually bits and bobs of pieces of ink, let's say when I'm taking out ink and it's got a little bit extra, instead of just letting the pigment waste, I put it here. Then sometimes I let it dry down to get out some of the extra water in it, so it's a little bit more consistency, heavier consistency. But right now it's really light consistency, so you're gonna get light marks here, as you can see. Yeah. So I'm just gonna do some practice on some Roman brush lettering, and maybe some other letters as well, to see how they look and how they feel. Yeah. I love this brush. This brush is really, it's soft and it can hold a bit, but it's a bit flexible. My grip tends to be more straight. Although because also too, if you got a more flatter grip, right? You're gonna get a flatter thing. If you have a straight grip, you're gonna get a straight, like that. The reason I'm using newspaper is because good paper is expensive, and newspaper is the cheapest thing to just practice on. You'll get some differences though if you're using good paper, and you'll have to amend your stuff accordingly. Also, the paper is kind of bent up and stuff, so as you can see, so it's like a little bit of a challenge trying to get it, but it is what it is. So I'm just at this moment I'm just practicing with letter forms and enjoying myself. So nothing really. I find the S is particularly problematic though. I mean, you should be able to see like the difference in the contrast anyway. And sometimes I get kind of bored and decide to like do something different. Like this is an M, and I decided, okay, put a little syrup here. I don't know why. Probably just for decoration. Fractals are interesting. See, paper, boom. It's like giving you a mountain there. So. The ink is mostly black, so if you want to watch, you watch. If you don't, you don't. Like I said, this is just me doing some practice on bad paper. I'm just trying out some forms and shapes together and see how they work. Also, I'm just testing out the tools to see how they handle different consistencies and stuff like that. As I said, this is very, very, look at that. That's not even, that's very thin. Very thin ink. This ink should, to be honest with you, should dry out. But, whatever. Well, working imperfectly definitely teaches you to kind of say, well, okay, this is what you're gonna, if you're having those challenges, you can't wait till everything's perfect. Some practice is better than no practice. You know? Like, look how watery that is. The Z should probably be taller. Right here. I kind of like a Z like that, to be honest with you. D is always a challenging letter because you gotta make sure. See, it's bent over a little bit. E is a foundational. Gosh, I hate when a paper when something's folded. But what can you do? It's what's there. Use the materials you got until you can get better. I find the most challenging letter are the symmetrical ones, like where you cannot. Where there's so much. If you want to get it right, it's so symmetrical that if you don't, like this, I'm not happy with this O, yeah. Which is one of the reasons I kind of avoid Romans always in brush. Look at this paper, ugh, terrible. Anyway, the faster I get rid of it, the faster I finish this, the faster I get rid of it. So, yeah. Kind of also teaches you to have some forgiveness in doing these things. Because if you don't have perfect materials, you can say, well, okay, at least you tried with what you got. You know, you try with what you have. That when you have something well, some good materials, you'll be confident that you can kind of use it. You might have to test it out first, but at least it's better than not trying at all. Too much potatoes. Go through this. The reason these O's are not perfect simply because you see that fold in there, and I hate to put a newspapers through it, but it's just how it's delivered, so there's nothing I can do about it. It's just one of the things I got to live with. I would have liked that M to be sharper. Yeah. One of the things is these watermarks as you're trying to get it. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't look as beautiful as it could. I don't really appreciate those watermarks too much. I like a letter without any texture in it. Unless I'm aiming for texture, but generally I don't like these kind of watermarks in the thing. Which means I have to use the strongest saturation to kind of cover those over. Yeah. NOPQ. Let's go Q. Yep. That was bad. And I'm gonna show you, alright. Your ST. I love the T. U. Oh, that U is hitting that there. I like that. V. Let's see. W. I always got a problem with the W's. Let me go up to Z here. I don't even know if I'm doing it right. Also, this paper is kind of funky. It doesn't accept water. Maybe they put something in the paper itself to be water resistant, I suspect. Look at that. It's not absorbing deep in, it's taking its time to absorb. Anyway, so I think I did Z already, but let me just finish it. Z. Y I find is really challenging. Simply because of that stem. If it was more like, okay, like that, I feel I would be more comfortable with. But it's not. I find the S is such an interesting shape. S, T, R, E, sometimes it isn't as sharp as I want it to be, but what can you do? The O, I find is one of the most challenging letters to do. And it's primarily because you're trying to get everything symmetrical with the O. Let's just finish off this piece of paper and then move on. So, okay, starting on the outside. What is the trick to the O? Just trying to make sure you, see, that's wrong. One time, that's terrible. So trying to make sure that your shape, there's no forgiveness in the O. None. The other letters you can kind of, so that's it for now, before this video takes up half an hour or 2 hours to load up.